video I wanted to do a kind of beginner's makeup tutorial. If you can hear any noises throughout this video, it is Gucci. This is my flatmate's Chihuahua and I'm babysitting her at the moment. Aren't I, baby? So you might hear her, but isn't she cute? She's so small and tiny. Say hello. Say hello to YouTube. I've actually lost one of these hair clips, so I'm going to have to use a bobby pin on the other side. But clipping a hair out of your face is just going to make your life a lot easier. So a lot of comments have been asking if I can just show where you put what and how to use it and just like the absolute basics. I'm probably going to split this into 2 videos just because I don't want you guys to be sitting here all day. Keep in mind this is just my personal recommendation, so if I say you need this kind of concealer for this, it's just what works best for me really. That's what I'm recommending to you. So I'm actually going to start by moisturising my face because I have not moisturised this morning and my skin's feeling a little dry, so particularly if you have dry skin it's a really good idea to pop on some moisturiser before you do your foundation or BB cream or anything like that. This is the Clinique Turnaround Overnight Moisturiser, but I just use it during the day because I'm a badass. To begin with, primers do seem like an unnecessary expense, but it really does affect the way your foundation wears and how long it wears. It's a really good thing to invest in because you can wear it under any foundation or any BB cream. Look at that gnarly pimple. I've been feeling it surfacing for a few days. Ooh. Then you can just go in with a primer, and like I said, a primer is going to help the longevity of your foundation. It's also going to smooth over any little dry blemishes or any dry patches. It's even good for mature skin. It can help fill in any fine lines and stuff like that, so it's just a nice base to put down. Just like if you were painting, you'd put down a primer before you paint. It's the same kind of idea. So I'm applying that over my whole face as a base for the foundation. Depends on the type of primer. If it's a mattifying one and you've got just normal skin, maybe just pop it on your T-zone. Some primers are luminizing, so they've got like a shimmer through it. Primer is something that you can't really mess up, so just experiment with which ones work best for your skin. Okay, now your skin is all ready for makeup. You can pop on your foundation or your BB cream. Until you know your undertones and you know your skin type and that kind of stuff, I would probably not recommend ordering foundations online. So yeah, just go to a counter and ask them to match you up, or ask them for a sample. If they're not like a proper full-on makeup counter, you can just often get a little sample, or even you can try the testers on your hands and on your neck and that kind of thing. I think if you're a beginner, BB cream is just a really great place to start. It's kind of foolproof and the colours are not as unforgiving if you get the colour kind of wrong for your skin. All that kind of stuff. They're faster to put on. You don't necessarily need makeup brushes for them. So let's stick with BB creams today. I'm going to show you a little combo that I do. You don't need both of these by any means, but this is what I like to use at the moment. I like to use this L'Oreal Dolish Veil Vita BB Pebblish Balm before I put on this BB cream, just because I've been having a lot of redness lately. I don't know, I've just been really hormonal lately, but you probably don't want to know that. The reason I'm saying that is because my skin's been quite red, so I'm really liking to use this. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm so like doubted myself then. This BB cream is in the shade 2 Natural Green, so I like to pop it on just before I use a foundation or a BB cream, and it just helps to almost whiten out my skin a bit, and because it's got that green tint, it cancels out redness. But you know, if you're a beginner, you don't need to get this. Although if you do have redness, it is great, I'll tell you that much. So I just like to massage it into my T-zone. Then I'll go in with my BB cream. This is the Better Jokes Bigger than BB Big Easy Liquid to Powder Multi-Balancing Complexion Perfector. Basically it's just a BB cream. That's a really unnecessarily long name. If you're looking for a good drugstore BB cream, I always recommend people the Chi Chi BB cream and the Chi Chi CC cream. The BB cream's a great formula, and the CC cream is great if you have really fair skin because they stock really light shades of that. They have like a fair one. This is just shade 1, I believe. BB cream's also a great option if you're at school because I don't know if you can see on camera, but this makes the most amazing finish. It looks like you've got no products on your skin. Next is concealer, and concealer comes in a lot of different forms. You can get liquid concealers like this one, you can get cream concealers, you can get concealers in like a stick like this. For me personally, I prefer a liquid concealer for under my eyes because it's the most undetectable, it just sinks in. Whereas sometimes concealers in little pots like this that are more of a solid consistency rather than a liquid, they can kind of drag on your dry skin and they look a bit more cakey. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, I believe it's called. I love this. As you can see, I've nearly run out of this tube. but I do have a backup, never fear. So I just drag it from the very inner corner of my eye out like that, and then I'll just take my finger and pat it in, and as you can see, because it's a liquid, it just is so easy to blend. You just pat it in with the warmth of your finger. I often bring it up onto my lid also because you can get some darkness around your inner corner, and pat all the way under. It brightens so much. Like compared to this eye, I look so tired. I'm just like this eye, I'm like, oh yeah, easy peasy. Take my finger, pat it in onto the top lid, and before I set that down with a wee bit of powder, I will make sure to conceal any blemishes like this. So I'm just taking Boing from Benefit, which is another, I don't know why I said that so weird. It's another beloved product, as you can see. It's pretty much all gone. I think I'm going to have to pop this in my little empties box because I have got another one. It annoys me how there's like a little bit of product in there. For concealers like this, it helps to rub your finger around a wee bit to help melt them down so they're not as dry. And although this concealer is expensive, may I just recommend it for blemishes. It's so good. It has a very creamy, lightweight finish, so it doesn't look heavy. Some concealers like this are very dry and they just make your blemish look revolting, whereas this one is so creamy and smooth, but still amazing full coverage. And hey presto, you've got an amazing base done. Where's the lid for this? Found it! Then I powder. Some people don't powder their face, but my skin's more on the dry side and I still like to powder my face. I don't really know how people get away with not powdering it. With a satin or matte foundation, yes, but if you're using a BB cream, I'd recommend getting a powder because you don't want to be 5 hours into your day at school or day at work and then you have to hug someone or like do something and your face comes off, or you like scratch your face or something and it's just like, so I find it best to set down with a powder. Where's my powder? This is the powder I've been using at the moment. I got sent this from Moisture Mist ages ago. It's the translucent pressed powder in light ochre, and I haven't reached for it because the packaging is like, ugh. I do not like Moisture Mist packaging, as I've said before, but the product is so good. I've been really liking this. I finally found a good, cheaper dupe for my Chanel powder. This one's still slightly nicer, but this one is so similar. It even has the same kind of scent. It's like talky rosy, and it's really fine in a similar colour, so I'm so happy because this costs an arm and a leg. Great one if you're on a budget is the NYX blotting powder. It's so good, and that one's really inexpensive, but I'm just going to use this today because it's what I've been using recently. So I just pat my powder brush in there. I do recommend getting a brush for your powder. It's just going to help it apply a lot better. You can get some really nice cheap ones out there. This one's from Nude by Nature. I think it's about $20. I was going to show you the e.l.f. powder brush, but I might actually not have any. I think I gave my mum all of them, but those are great. I'll link some good brushes you can get down below because we don't want to be here all day. Pat powder over everywhere you've put product. It is safe too to pick a translucent powder when you're just starting out because it doesn't have any colour, so it's not going to make you look too orange or give you a white cast or anything. I like to set over my eyes too because I did put a bit of concealer there, so it just helps everything stay nicely. See how it is. I'd probably just go for a blush to start with if I'm just a beginner, but I'll show you how to do bronzer, contour, highlight and blush just in case you're wondering. The bronzer I'm loving at the moment is actually a NYC bronzer, so it's cheap, yay! It's the Smooth Skin Bronzing Face Powder and it looks like this. It's got a beautiful sun shape in it. This is in the shade Sunny. It's just a really nice natural bronzer on me. It's quite warm as you can see, but it's not really dark, so it doesn't make me look muddy. My favourite bronzer brush is the xoBeauty blush brush. Go figure, they have a bronzing brush, but I prefer this one because it's angled, so it really fits my face. Just tap it in once and then give it a little fluff around, and I start on my forehead and just go along my hairline. I've got so many baby hairs, it like kills me inside. But anyway, let's ignore those. So just like that. Like what? Why? Hold the brush so it's like fitting into my face. And I'll go up and down like this and bring it down onto my temple area. And lastly, I'll pat a wee bit on the tops of my cheeks just because that's where the sun would hit and it gives you a nice kind of warm glow. So just bring it down my cheekbones. And I'll bring it down to my neck too, because I've warmed up this part of my face, so it just kind of makes it look more believable, I guess. So I start on my jaw, bring it up a wee bit, and then bring it down. So that's where you bronze. Some people like to do just a 3 motion, so you just kind of sweep like that and sweep like that, which is essentially what I'm doing, but because I'm so fair, I find if I just do a big old sweep, it can look a little bit muddy on me, so I like to go in separately and do each area. Now for blush, I will use a duo fiber brush, and these are great because they're so foolproof. If you go in with a blush brush like this kind of shape, they're great for your cheekbone shape, but they're quite dense, so you really have to be careful when you're putting on blush with a brush like this, which is why for beginners especially, I love to recommend these duo fiber brushes. This is the xoBeauty Precise brush, and it's a lovely shape for the cheekbones. And also e.l.f. do some great ones. These are so dirty, I'm sorry. But this one is the e.l.f. stipple brush, and it's more of a flat shape. I slightly prefer the xoBeauty ones because they're kind of rounded to your cheek. These ones are pretty much just as good, and they're only like $3 or something. I just kind of use them on an angle, so this part of the brush I'll just put on my cheeks, and yeah, these do a great job for blush. My favourite blush at the moment is my Bobbi Brown blush in Nude Peach. I'm sorry, I know this isn't Drugstore, but I kind of wanted this to be a current everyday makeup routine thing as well as like a beginner's look. I have done videos on my top Drugstore products, so I'll link all those kind of things below. If you don't want to fork out for Bobbi Brown, you don't have to use the exact same products as me. I'm just showing you like the technique of putting stuff on. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm just going to take this with a Precise brush, just pat it in a few times. And I like to apply it in kind of a circular motion. I just find that it helps to buff out the product and make it look the most natural. So I work my way down from my brow bone and kind of bring it down my cheek until I'm at the apple of the cheek. And then for the apples, I'll do a cheesy old smile and just pat it over the kind of plump part, if you know what I mean. And then run it back up. I just kind of go back and forth up my cheekbone until it all looks super blended. Then if you'd like to highlight your cheekbones, just take your highlighting powder or whatever it is you're using. I personally love What's Up at the moment. This is so pretty. If you're just starting off, I'd say most of you would have a powder highlight. You can also use like a shimmery eyeshadow to highlight, which I just did a video on, like multi-use products. But if you have an eyeshadow this kind of colour, like a shimmery one, you can just use that as a highlight colour. I'm just going to use Light Scape today from MAC. My 3 favourite highlight brushes are the Real Techniques setting brush. This is like the perfect size. So dirty. I really need to wash my brushes. This is the e.l.f. small stipple brush. This is again a duo fiber. It's just like a mini size of the blush ones. And this is great for just softening it out and placing it on really naturally. And then the last one is the xoBeauty large eyeshadow brush, which I presume is meant for eyeshadow, but I love it for highlight. It's like, again, the perfect kind of size. It's just not as fluffy, so if you're wanting a more intense dramatic highlight, I prefer this one. So for today I'm going to use the e.l.f. one because this is the most affordable. I'm just going to pat it in my product a few times. Again, you don't have to be too worried when using a brush like this because it's very natural. And then I just go up and down where I've put the blush, but I kind of keep it on the top half of my cheekbone for my hairline. And hopefully you can see it just gives a really nice natural payoff. And also as a little cheat, so I don't have to do a brow bone highlight, I like to pop a wee bit on the corner of the brush and just pack it under my brow bone. So we're pretty much done for face products. The last thing I'm going to show you how to do is contour. And for this I'm going to use a really inexpensive product. This is Taupe Powder Blush from NYX. It's very similar to the shade Fawn from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, which is the one I mainly use from there anyway. So good if you have pale skin. I'm going to use the Real Techniques contour brush for this. If you're not really sure where the base of your cheekbone is, try and find some lighting that casts a harsh shadow on your face, and you should be able to see where it is. Otherwise you can kind of go like this with your mouth and it should kind of pull in the skin. I know, I feel like that kind of works better. Anyway, you'll work it out. You can always feel it with your finger and all that kind of jazz. And once you've figured it out, you just take your brush with the product and slowly work your way down. You probably don't have these weird sideburns that I have, which would help a lot. So I just start off very slow, go over, and if you can, follow the shape of the line you did with your highlight powder, so it kind of just all cohesive and looks like your real cheekbone. I mean, it is your real cheekbone, but we're just trying to enhance it as naturally as we can. So just bring it on down. You can use one of those contour brushes that's like the skinny ones if you want a really defined contour, which is nice for like clubbing or dramatic makeup, but I feel like if you're just starting off with makeup, you probably want to start off natural. And once you get to the bottom of your cheek, it's nice to kind of fluff it out. I like to use little circular motions and just buff like that, and it just kind of diffuses the line out and makes it look like your cheekbone just fades away into nothing. And I like to fade it out once it kind of hits where it meets my brow bone, because you don't want to bring it right down to your mouth, otherwise you're going to look like a bit of a clown. So just kind of bring it to there and you'll be sweet. So just do the same thing with the other side. And there we have it. So that is how you put on your base products. I hope this was really helpful for those of you just starting out with makeup, and I'm sure I probably skipped over something important, so leave me any questions in the comments below and I'll reply to you. If you have Google+, some of you don't have Google+, I think that's what it is, and I can't reply to your comments. It's so annoying, especially when like I really want to help someone but there's no reply options. Otherwise just tweet me. All my social media will be down below, and if you would like the next installment of this little beginners series, then let me know down below. It'll be like the brows, eyelashes, lips, all that kind of stuff for beginners. And aside from that, I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye! One like this from Benefit called Bikini Teeny is a perfect kind of highlight shade, so you can just use this as like a cream colour base type thing from MAC and just pat it on your cheekbones. Also, I'd love to see some pictures of you guys recreating it. Make sure to tweet me. All my social media will be down below.